All right. The time is now 7:06 p.m., June 10th, 2025. We'll kick off the Montoursville Area School Board meeting with a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, before we continue with roll call, I just wanted to let everyone know we did have an executive session prior to this meeting where we discussed some personnel matters, some legal matters, and safety and security updates, things we don't talk about in public. So that's why we're a little bit late. So thank you for the patience. Roll call, Randy.
Mr. Albert, is he online or?
He is not yet.
No. Okay, so we will mark him as absent this evening. Mr. Badger,
Here.
Mr. Eisenhower,
Here.
Mr. Gardner,
Here.
Mr. Hausnick,
Here.
Miss McCoy,
Here.
Mrs. Meyer, here, Mrs. Oberheim, here, and Mr. Young.
Here. All right, thank you. For recognitions and presentations tonight, we have John Raver here with the Days of Remembrance Essay Contest winner. Come on up, Mr. Raver.
Badger, Mr. Armena, members of the board, administrators, concerned public, and most importantly, students. It's great to be here. It's almost like Groundhog Day. I seem to come every year. And there's a reason for that. I'm not going to say the reason, but to my right is definitely the reason. Mr. Badger, a very nice shirt you're wearing, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Anyway, with Days of Remembrance, we are dealing with the Holocaust, not only the historical fact that it occurred, but also lessons learned and how we can prevent something from that in the future. Because sometimes things look like they're repeating themselves. Just for numbers, we'd like to have numbers. Brandy likes to have numbers. We had 97 essays from 11 counties. 15 different schools. The contest started in 2019 with just high schools because we didn't have much money. And then started with the middle schools in 2021. Just to reflect a little bit, 2021, McCall Middle School had a first, a second, and a third. I'm sorry, a first, a second, and 11 honorable mentions. 2023. 1, 2, 3, a hat trick with 4 honorable mentions. Last year, first and second with 4 honorable mentions. This year, we had second, we had third, and we had 3 honorable mentions. We also had a high school honorable mention, and that was presented at awards night. But you're probably wondering, what is this essay? So I've asked Mr. Raver to read the question and the prompt to you. Each of you should have a copy of that in front of you and try to figure out how you would tackle it.
This year's prompt read: in Germany and Europe during the 1930s and 1940s, members of many institutions and organizations, churches, military, sports groups, semi-official groups like the youth, etc., had to decide how they would respond to Germany's mass murder of Jews and others. Pick the group or organization, explain that group's behavior in the Holocaust. How did they respond to the Nazi government? How did they relate to individual Jews or other state-sanctioned enemies? Then explain how studying this group's response to the Holocaust today can help us remember the Holocaust better and what lessons we can learn.
Thank you. That's quite a lot for an 8th grader. Quite a lot for more than an 8th grader. And they consistently do well. So I think what we'd like to do right now, one common thread is this: when one teacher students submit over 40% of the essays from this year, 40%, 11 counties, 97 entries, 40%. Something fantastic must be happening on Willow Street. This is about students. Mr. Raybert would agree. We must remember, however, nothing happens without the influence of a great teacher. Mr. Raybert, you are a great teacher. Now we'll present the awards.
Second place essay this year in the Days of Remembrance essay contest with the title of Rebellion Blooms in the Hearts of German Youth. Roy Snow. Third place with an essay named Rescuing Thousands of Jewish Children from the War. Holly. And we did have 3 honorable mentions. However, Sophia Wheeler couldn't be here tonight. Her family's in Maine on vacation. She's my next door neighbor, so I'll make sure she gets her check. And Wyatt Watts, with an essay called The Worst Church of All Time, is at a baseball game tonight. And I will make sure he gets his check on Thursday. I will not tell you the circumstances of that visit from his father. But Ben Barkowskis also was an honorable mention with an essay entitled Looking Away from What You Shouldn't. And I have about 40 other certificates of participation. I'll be over to the high school sometime at the beginning of next school year. Pass all these out.
Okay, I don't know if they told their parents or not. There may be some checks in there.
All right.
Oops, oops, oops. That's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Hope to
great.
see you next year.
I'm sure you will. Great way to start the meeting there. All right, then we'll now move on to the the reading of the minutes from the previous meetings, approval of the regular meeting minutes, May 13th, 2025, and the work session minutes from May 27th, 2025. I'll take a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Sorry. Any questions, comments, concerns? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Well, I skipped over the student representation, but I didn't see one in here, so. All right. All right, now we'll move on to the public comment portion of the agenda. First one of the evening. This is again for residents and taxpayers to comment on matters of concern, official action, or deliberation before the board. We have 3 unpaused time. 5 minutes. Minutes of time.
Ron Snell, Lower Manor. Tonight on the agenda under Budget and Finance, 11.1, this board will be voting on the 25-26 budget. If approved, it will include a 1.06% increase in property taxes for property owners, while the district is sitting on over $3.6 million of an unassigned fund balance. The superintendent recommends this tax increase. It's a recommendation from a person whose home is not in Loyalsock Township and will not be affected by any property tax increase made by Montoursville Area School District. Ironically, on the agenda, right before that vote is taken, there will be votes under academics 10.1 and 10.2 to allow students that don't live in our district to attend Montoursville Area School District schools free of charge. They are children of MASD employees. Those employees want the board to waive the cost of tuition for their children to be educated in Montoursville School District. This would set a precedence for any employee living outside our district to have their children attend our schools for free. Any refusal by this board or future boards to waive tuition cost could result in a lawsuit. Perhaps these employees that now want their children to attend MASD schools free of charge, saw that when the superintendent negotiated his contract, he had a provision put in that if his children wanted to attend Mentorsville School District schools, it would be free of charge for him. An employee that makes over $120,000 a year. It is easy to see why he would recommend this added expense to the district's property owners. The bottom line is he wants the property owners and Mentorsville area school districts to pay for the education of children that live in other districts and at the same time increase the taxes on those of us that live in Mentorsville area school district. Thank you.
Jack Callahan, 113 Arch Street, Mentorsville. I wanted to say something about that scoreboard out there in the football field for graduation. I recommended about 4 or 5 years ago that the date like it would be, let's take like this year, 2025. I think that should have been up there. And just to add to graduation. And it would, mean something to the kids that played on the football field or the soccer or anything, they look up at the scoreboard. And I'd also like to say, I just think I'll be over next year if I'm around to recommend that 2026 will be up there on the board. I don't know why it wasn't taken. I don't know about last year. I didn't go to graduation last year. But I don't know what the big deal of it is that it couldn't be up there on the board, that they got the blank scoreboard there and the scoreboard's in the wrong place. It should be over on over on the other side of the field. So our coaches can see the scoreboard clock. And that's where the old manual scoreboard was, which that was some guy out there switching the markers and the quarters and keeping score. And I'd like to also want to know when the track is going to be open out here for people to walk on over the summer. I want to know the times, and I think it should be open all the time, basically from sun up to sundown, 7 days a week. But I know it isn't. And I'd also like to make a comment on Crabtree said they were going to get back to putting a message board out in front of the school or something. They were going to get the variances and whatever that it would take. Well, they never got back. I don't know. I still think the school deserves a message board. We're good luck baseball team at States, good luck at track, good luck at all the sports, not only sports, but all the musicals and all of what's going on. I mean, it's kind of flimsy up there at Williamsport High School, their message board, and they're at Loyalsock, they're right there and they're changing real fast. But I think a message board is something that is needed here at the school.
Paul Rinker, Chestnut Street. I'd like to echo all the things that Ron said. I'd like to add a couple things to it. It's amazing to me that when it comes to cutting costs, we just throw up our hands, we can't do it, we can't find anything, but boy, do we don't have any trouble finding ways to throw money away. Yeah, let's just let everybody come without paying tuition. Why not everybody? Why these special people? you know, board, you work for the people out here. The people in the school work for you. Now, I got nothing against, I'm glad they're here. I'm glad they're doing the job they're doing. But to just kind of willy-nilly say, oh, you want another benefit here, have it. No. Just no. You want to raise taxes and you want to give stuff away for free that you don't need to. You'll whine about cyber school. And in cyber school, at least you're paying for kids that you are responsible for, that you failed in this school. But you don't seem to be whining about paying for somebody that you have no responsibility for. It's just not right. You can really do it if you want to. You have the power to do that. But you don't have the moral authority to do that. You work for the people that are paying the taxes, you're raising their taxes, and you want to give away their stuff. This school district spends over $20,000 per student. And you're going to let people come for nothing, who pay nothing to this district. Because they want to live in a district where their taxes are lower. Well, if they want to cut their kids to come here, they could do what everybody else did, move here. Pay taxes here, or pay the tuition. And I think that's what any reasonable person would believe. So why don't you show us that you're reasonable people? Thanks.
Anyone else in the room before we go online? All right, so seeing no one else in the room, we'll go to Zoom. If you would like to make a comment, please raise your hand. All right, no hands raised. That'll conclude the public comment portion of the agenda. Moving on to the business manager's report. Mrs. Smith.
You've received copies of the treasurer's reports for the period ending May 31st, 2025 for the general fund and cafeteria fund. We are submitting these to the board for your consideration of approval.
All right, take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed.
You've received copies of the budgetary transfer for the general fund. We are submitting these for the board for consideration of approval.
Take a motion to approve those.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any questions, comment? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed.
You've received copies of the listing of invoices for the general fund and cafeteria fund for the period ending June 10th, 2025. We are submitting these to the board for your consideration of approval of payment.
Take a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments, concerns? All right, roll call, Ms. Smith.
Mr. Badger,
Yes.
Mr. Eisenhower,
Yes.
Mr. Gardner,
Yes.
Mr. Hausman,
Yes.
Ms. McCoy.
Yes.
Mrs. Meyer. Yeah. Mrs. Oberheim. Yes. And Mr. Young.
Yes.
For the business office report, we've started working on transportation for next year. We're working on purchasing for next year. We've been wrapping up budget numbers. Working on closing out the year, getting everything wrapped up for the year. Just a lot of stuff going on, moving pieces to get finished one year and start another year. So not much else to report there.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to the superintendent's report. We'll do that. We'll go around the room. We started, I think, with Mr. Blaze last time, so Mrs. Albert, we're gonna start with you this time.
Wrapped up the school year, which I don't like walking around the halls when there's no kids in there. Some kind of way, the other day when I was doing that. So in May, we had really good, exciting things. So we had the jazz band out at 37. So if anybody got out to that, that was a really pleasant evening, and there were a lot of faces out there and lots of good food and business, and it was really cool to be out there. Also, we had 14 of our seventh graders participate in the Kicking It with Cops, which is done by the Youth Development Task Force in Lycoming County, where they bring all the schools. There's 14 students from each school, and the SROs or school resource officers, and they do a kickball tournament for the day. So we had kids participate in that, which is always good. And the weather was one of the days that was really nice. We also held an orientation for the parents of incoming fifth graders. So we got that started back up just to try to give them a little bit more information when their students are coming to the call. And hopefully that will benefit us. We had an arts recognition at Conical Library. We have students that have artwork there for the summer. So just stop by and check it out. It's pretty neat to see our students. They're doing a 6-month rotation. So if you want to see some student artwork, you can support the library in town. I recommend that. I'll say the rest for you.
All right, Mr. Piper. All right, Mr. Hanner.
Yeah, I want to share that we had 32 students that were identified as either special education, gifted, or with 504 service agreements graduate. I also wanted to publicly thank paraprofessional Carolyn Bishop for her service with our school district. She really worked well with our students and really affected a lot of their lives. And we're sad to see her move on, but wanted to thank her for her time with us. And then upcoming in August is our paraprofessional conference as we then take and get ready for the next school year. IU 17, IU 15, and IU 12 will be hosting the event. It will be a virtual event scheduled for August 7th. And the keynote speaker for the event is Kate Swenson. She's the author of the book, Autism Out Loud. And our paraprofessionals that will be attending it will be able to pick out any kind of personalized learning opportunities that they want to help them grow professionally to work with our special needs population.
That's great. Thank you very much. Mr. Meyer.
Well,
Keep you on your toes. You don't know who I'm gonna call next. Wow.
Once again,
Nice.
a great year. We wish, sad to see, Mr. Beth Barrico retire, after 32 years, and then in the office, Mr. Bishop, both fantastic professionals, very dedicated to the faculty, staff, and students. So, wish them the best, moving forward. It was really cool to see, some of our seniors come down and walk the halls. That was cool to see them come through and had a chance to really talk to them personally about their 4 years in high school and how fast they go. So we spent the awards day, the 8th graders really talking about the opportunities moving forward and to take it all in one day at a time. Because before you know it, they'll be seniors. So and I'm excited about our 8th graders moving on, the opportunities that lie ahead for them. Wish them the best. Again, thank you to the faculty and staff this year.
The 3 minutes are up.
Again, very dedicated at McCall, and we're very blessed to have their support for our kids. So again, it's been a great year, and we're starting to plan already for next year. So looking forward to the new year. All right.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mrs. Wise.
So last Wednesday, we had the award ceremony for the seniors, and that followed the graduation on Thursday. Successful evening, we're able to have it outside. Want to recognize L.A. Merlin as valedictorian for class of 2025 and Addison Concord salutatorian. Boys baseball, Mr. Housenet does a little thunder here. They're playing on Friday at State College in the state quad A championship. So,
That's
get a chance to get out there. that'll be
That's so
fun.
exciting.
If you listen to any of the class day celebrations that were going on, or even the speeches being given at graduation, the undercouchers were a talking point for all of them. So just so that you know kind of where we stand, we had 148 cell phone violations that we handled since January here at the high school. And my office, up until about a couple hours ago, looked like a younger sorting facility, but we're getting them taken care of. And, that pretty much wraps up.
All right, thank you. Mr. Blaze.
Yeah, so we had last couple of weeks were up school, were interesting and super busy. We had our end of the year PBIS reward, which was, as always, a done thing. For some reason, people like coming up and trying to put me underwater. But lucky for me, a lot of them work on the arm a little bit. So, but no, it was all fun. And then we had our bouncy day and field day. We had 3 bounce houses up with 3 kids, and we did a bunch of relay races. So they love that, out in the hot sun. You see, we also honored our kindergartners and our 4th graders with ceremonies for all the hard work this year. It's the longer I'm at the valley, the tougher it's getting to see our 4th graders go, because we're creating those relationships and seeing their progress and how well they're doing is we're getting there. We're almost to our kindergarten class where I started, so 2 years away. So we're getting there. And then I just wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Adams and his 29 years of service, strictly at the valley. He's going to be super hard to replace, and all the kids are going to miss him. I know that. I have parents that are going to miss him. We're hoping that he would do a couple more years, but he's not going to. So we're just shout out to him and appreciate all the service, and we're just planning for next year. Get ready to go.
All right, thank you. Mr. T.
Yeah, thanks to the high school staff for putting on really nice graduation from class of 2025. Again, congratulations to them. I want to remind folks that the meeting for July is the 3rd Tuesday. It is July 15th. It will not be the 2nd Tuesday as is typical. That's something we switched due to the district shutting down that week of July 4th. So that is a change to the norm, and is not a change to what was approved as our regular meetings for this year. And Coach Eck, I see, is in the room. He is on this agenda to be approved this evening for retention. We may revisit it depending on the result Friday.
Dang it. What are you doing here? Aren't you, don't you have some planning to do? What are you doing?
Congratulations.
Yeah, what a great season.
Great season.
What time do they play on Friday?
1:30.
1:30?
I think is it Indiana? And they've played 2 games to our 1. They had an extra inning battle that carried it over into a second day for them. So hopefully that affects them.
Hopefully they're tired, right?
John's
We're
gonna
good
want
to
to
go.
talk about this, so.
He's deflating over there.
We didn't talk about it last month. Oh, geez. You're gonna have to increase the meeting a half hour.
So that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. And I just want to throw out there, so that I got to the privilege of attending my 2nd graduation as the board president. I tell you what. There's no better feeling for me. I wish I could get all you guys up there, but just being able to shake 150 hands and give them their diplomas, and hearing their parents scream for them and hearing their fellow students scream for them. It just, like, we stand here and we take a lot of heat, and we respect everyone coming up here and giving us their thoughts and opinions on things. Maybe we're doing things right, maybe we don't. But at that point in time, none of that matters. Or should I say all of that matters? Because when that's what it's all about there that day. Those kids made it through this huge milestone in their life, and we get to be a part of that. So it's such a great feeling. I love it. It was hot. It was hot, but it cooled down. And then halfway through, someone lit a barbecue and it was blowing over and we were dying. Oh, jeez, like, I'm hot, I'm hungry. So, but yeah, it wasn't raining, so it's good. But just one of my favorite things. I absolutely love it. And every year I'm blessed to be able to do it. I'm going to say the same thing. So this time next year, prepare to hear the same thing. So, all right, that's all I have. Thank you. Good updates. All right, moving on to the general agenda items. I don't see any reason why we can't combine 7.1 through 7.6 on here. If everyone agrees, I'll take a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Thank you, John.
I'll
second. Ooh,
Sorry.
Brenda's
Do that
back.
to you.
All right, any questions or comments on 7.1 through 7.6? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Right. Moving on to the personnel portion of the agenda. 8.1, approval of the following additions, changes, and retentions for the coaching staff, 2025-2026 school year. There's quite a few in here. So take a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 8.2, approval of the following resignations of the support staff, Ms. Carolyn Bishop, paraprofessional. Take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Any comments, questions? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? 8.3, approval of following addition to the support staff for the 2025-2026 school year, Ms. Mackenzie Saylor, healthcare aide. I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? 8.4 of approval of the following employee 101911 for 10 days without pay. Take a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, transportation 9.1, approval of the following addition to the bus aid list for the 2024-2025 school year, Jade Primerano, Promised Land Busing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, 10 academics. I think these are similar. We can combine 10.1 and 10.2. You agree? I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, any questions? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Opposed.
And 11, budget and finance. This is the approval of the general fund budget in the amount of $35,794,852 for the fiscal year of 2025-2026, including salary and work schedules as proposed. Take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments?
My comment is, I did not vote for taxes to be raised before, and I don't want to for that now.
I have a comment too, with the additional information that was brought forth at the last meeting, during the second public comment. Because we have over $3+ million sitting in the general fund that's not been allocated for anything. I can't justify raising taxes this year through this one.
And I also can't support raising taxes. I believe last year I made a comment about after doing a millage increase, it wouldn't raise taxes this year. Not gonna do it. Our cyber school costs have been going down. We just learned that. So now that we learned that, I would say no to a tax increase.
And the one thing I want to point out is that when we came forth with the tax increases, because we can't go, if we have an increase, so we went forward, had to present with an increase, so the discussion could be had, right? So we did this last year. We came in with a 0.75. increase and went to 0.54, right? So you can't go up, but you can always go down, right? So I think there's a discussion to be had on what it looks like. I don't know if there's any updates to anything, Brandy, from the perspective of if anything else came in that we need to be aware of in regards to the budget.
She's prepared with the presentation if you would like her to. proceed.
Fantastic, I would love the presentation.
Looks like she knew we were gonna ask.
She knows she's.
Can we incorporate the money we're gonna save with the cyber school cap at $8,000?
Well, it's not a guarantee, yeah, so.
Has to get through the Senate.
Once that's guaranteed, yes, you can.
Okay, this was put together with a 0.1% or 0.1 millage increase. Because that was what the direction was at the last meeting. I do have other numbers available right here to go over them as well. It was there.
Who's our IT guy? We didn't approve him.
Right. Alright,
He's saved,
So
he's saved
here
me plenty of time.
you will see the only change in,
We can't see.
well, you have it also on paper in front of you. So we can start with there. You'll see increase of 36,000 in your local real estate taxes opposed to what was approved for the proposed. That was due to assessment changes that were received a few weeks ago. So people have added things to their properties, which makes, their assessment go up. So we've seen a $36,000 increase there.
I'm gonna stop and ask a question right there. Have we received all the assessments within the district yet? Because I know that they're still continuing to go through various townships for assessments, so I didn't know.
Although it's a couple years out,
Right, that's what, okay, all right.
so we won't see that for three.
So
2
would-
3 years.
Oh, this is a different, I thought you
This
were
is,
talking about.
you
the
added
county
a garage,
assessment.
you added, it is a county, well, not the county-wide assessment, but you
But
add a
it's the-
garage
right,
to
right,
your
yes.
property. And then you get a new assessment.
Thank you.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that is just those. The FICA share for state revenue, is down a little bit along with the other income from state. And that is down $1,150. And that is just because of wage changes when we hired a teacher at a lower rate than, what was originally budgeted. I think it was budgeted out of master's instead of a bachelor's. And so that made a little bit of a change there. Federal, changes there. The expenditures, I just lumped these together to give you a overview. And the only real changes we had are in wages and benefits. And that was, because of change in, some of what the original plans were prior, were changed, and which changed some wages and some changes in what step we hired teachers at. And the employee benefits was just because some employees changed their benefit package as we just did open enrollment. So a little bit of that is incorporated into there. So that is a change of negative $42,162. So, in summary, these go to page 5. And again, this is put together at a 0.17, or 0.18 increase. So you see the change here. with the savings that we were able to find, it takes us to a deficit of $55,391, which the impact on the median property with the homestead, and I'll remind you, the homestead are the people that are living in their homes. This is their primary residence. They qualify for the homestead. The homestead increased, so they're getting more of a rebate. So it actually still shows as a little bit of savings on those. If we do no tax increase, which I have right here for you. I came prepared. With no tax increase, it is a deficit of just under $200,000. It's actually, the actual is $198,391 would have to be used from fund balance to maintain a no tax increase, but that also includes no budgetary reserve. So if you decide you want to add something later on, that's also going to come from fund balance. So that, you know,
Where are we at, Brandy, on what is done?
that we're still on slide 7. On the presentation, not on the PDE.
Thank you. So this is.
Summary and fund balance.
Got it. This is.
And you see, it's very convenient there that fund balance is right below it.
I like that.
So right now, for the end of the year, we're looking at a 3.6. That may change a little bit. We got some new numbers in, and the way EIT is being reported this year is a little bit different, and we'll explain that after the year ends. That's with going with a new company and not having it collected locally in the county. It happens almost instantaneously, and it's not 2-3 months behind. So it has brought in a significant revenue for 24-25, but it's a one-time gain. So I'll explain that later on in the year after we get the final results from that. But we're still looking at a healthy fund balance of 3.6 or more, with that coming in like that. And with what we're proposing, we're looking at 3.5 million at the end of June 30th, 2026. So that is really what I had for you this evening, put together based on what you had provided with the last time. The other thing is the PDE documents. So you have that. If we want to go with no increase, I can make the adjustments on that and submit it. That's not a problem. I just need to know where everyone wants to go. And we'll just have to, we want to go with no increase. We just changed it on the documents and have you sign those, Todd? So it's not a problem.
And just a note on slide 6, we worked hard as an admin team, and they got tired of me saying it. I wanted to bring a 0 increase budget to the board, which is what we brought initially.
Yeah.
I will add, in terms of our costs, our expenditures, when you compare to our 24-25 budget, we're up 0.87%. In an inflationary period, I'm proud of what the team has put together in being able to control our costs and present to you a no increase, no tax increase budget. We certainly can do that and swing it. That was the board's decision to go higher, noting that you can start at a point and back off from that and not go higher. You can't go higher once you approve that proposed final. So thank you to the team for their work in bringing us in and controlling our expenditures. Thank you to Brandy. We're working through many morning conversations and putting this together to get us where we wanted to be. I'm pleased with where we're sitting, regardless of what you decide. Tonight, my recommendation is to approve a budget. Whether you decide to do that with a tax increase or not is on you. regardless of where I live or what I make. So the ball is in your court. And thank you.
I'm still at no increase.
I agree. No increase.
Third it, fourth.
No increase.
So,
Well, I didn't get to say anything.
I know, I was sitting here.
I wanted to eighth it.
So first, I do want to commend the administration team for coming in at 0.8% increase. Also recognizing we added an additional program for athletics for the girls during this year, which we're funding into next year as in volleyball. And just everything that they've done to try to bring in kids from the cyber school perspective and offering our own program, which we didn't have. So hence we did lose kids from that curriculum, as well as offering dual enrollment and all the other academic things that you all have done and have brought in. So I do just want to point that out, that we do try to be fiscally responsible and that we do bring the budget in at a tax rate, because there does have to be a conversation on what happens within this district, and we do have to fund it. And with the inflationary rate at where it's at, you know, I think everyone's pitching pennies and really doing their part for the taxpayer as well as the student, because first and foremost, it's the kids, because they're the future and they're the future leaders of this country. And we owe it to them to do the best we can. So yes, I look at tax increases and put it in there to make sure that we're doing all the things that we possibly can. And I commend the administration for doing everything that they are during this inflationary time, because everyone is pinching pennies. So I am voting for a no tax increase, but I wanted to put that in there so that we know where we're at. So when everyone yells and fights, realize we can go down, but we can't go up. And we have to make sure everything comes in and where we're at and what we're looking at. And so that we don't do any more detriment to this district, so that we can keep buildings open and so we can make sure that repairs and everything are done and still have a healthy reserve. So that's my 2 cents on this budget year. Again, you'll hear it next year, I'm sure.
In the calendar, yeah.
And, well, it's one at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
Calendars and calendars.
Different seasons.
Yes, I have a different season of lecture. It's budget lecture time.
Budget.
We're not in calendar lecture time. Sorry.
And I just want to continue on with the commendments as well. This is my 4th budget that I've been part of, and every year, Brandy, you're in your team, and Dan, you're in your team, and the entire district. You do an incredible job of coming in real close to what you guys predict it's going to come. So I feel comfortable, very comfortable going in with a 0 tax increase this year, and I think we'll be okay. So I guess we don't need to change the motion or anything like that to vote.
We do, because what was presented in there, was for a 17.29 or 27 mils, so you would just have to have, a motion to amend it to have, a no tax increase, 17.09. That would have to be, I believe.
I make.
Who was the original?
Todd has to do it, and
Yeah,
who's the first.
Who was the original?
Who first? Did this?
Mr. Young, I believe, was the motion, and the second was Mrs. Meyer, so they would both have to agree to amend it.
Agreed.
Okay,
Can you repeat that?
yep. So
The motion has been amended to.
the motion has been amended to the 17.09.
No,
Specifically say no increase.
no increase.
Hey, stop yelling at me, all right? All right, so we are amending this budget to no tax increase for this tax year. Sound good?
And I need a roll call for this also.
All right,
So, Mr. Badger,
yes.
Mr. Eisenhower,
Yes.
Mr. Gardner, Mr. Hausner,
Yes.
Ms. McCoy,
Yes.
Mrs. Meyer,
Yes.
Mrs. Oberheim,
Yes.
and Mr. Young.
Yeah. All right,
All right, so now moving on to 11.2. Before you do a motion to approve and a second, That also needs to be amended because that does impact the amount of the farmstead exclusion resolution. So that will also just, you have to make the motion to have that amended to meet the tax increase.
Okay.
Or I guess you don't, it would just be to change the motion to approve the 2025 homestead and farmstead exclusion resolution with a tax rate of 17.09.
Okay. All right, so 11.2, approval of the 2025 homestead and farmstead exclusion resolution with a tax rate of 17.09. Take a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, there's no roll call on this one, correct?
No.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. All right. 11.3, approval of the following financial institutions to be used as depositories for the 2025-2026 school year. The list is attached below. I will take a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any questions? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Abstain.
We have one abstain, no opposed. Get your document ready. All right, 11.4, approval of the attached bank signatories for the school district accounts as listed for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. I'll take, thank you. A second. Anyone?
Second.
Any questions on that? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. Committee reports, Mr. Vice.
Thank you, sir. PSBA, Mrs. Overheim. Policy Committee, Mrs. McCoy. IU Rep, Mrs. Meyer.
Yeah, I just want to remind her, and Tim, I'm gonna say, do you remember the date? Every year, because my Wi-Fi is not deciding to work in here, every year the IU has an end of season where all the kids go out, and it's, I believe, is it Williamsburg this year? Oh, I'll send it out to you guys. It's a big parade that they do of all the, is it, they did it at Loyalsac last year. I feel like it's a different place this year. No, it's for all their IU kids. They do a huge 4th of July parade, and people just loved it for, to come out and cheer them on. They did it. Is it? Oh, so, okay, so it's at the middle school this year. That's why, because it was at Loyalsac last year. But they go out and the kids love it. It's a great thing. It's very, if you haven't done it, it's really nice to see all the kiddos come out and cheer them on, and it's very exciting for all the IU kids. So that's my big summer IU. Intensive paraprofessional. So
Thank you. LCTC, Mr. Eisenhower.
Yeah, just at this past year, we had 37 students enrolled at LCTC. Next year, we'll have 54. So the numbers are coming up just like I hoped they would be for this expansion project. So by the time it opens up and stuff, we should be somewhat evened out with the other school districts. It's a very important program. VOTEC is a very important program, 8 different programs with it. All other school districts, they have their own program going. It's necessary. There's been discussion here about starting our own program, which is, I won't sit here and laugh about it because it's the cost involved we can't meet that. So we have LCTC, great program going on, and eventually it will be looked at as a fair and even split. That's all.
Well, are there?
And on that note, I've had a lot of people from the public, welders, diesel mechanics, stuff like that, thanking me that the Matorral School District is involved with LCTC and that we did do this expansion project. Many parents have thanked me, parents and grandparents. I know not everybody in the audience is for it, but I've had a lot of people thank me.
Thank you, Mr. Eisenhower.
You're welcome.
Memorial Gardens, Mr. Hausmaker.
The spring work day was held Saturday, May 17th.
thanks to Mrs. Tara and the Key Club, some of the middle schoolers and a lot of community members that volunteered for that day. And also a big thanks to Conkle Lawn Service for donating the mulch.
Budget, Mrs. Meyer, Mr. Hausman.
Nothing.
Till next year.
Montoursville Foundation, glad to report that through Raise the Region, they raised over $827, which is above last year's amount. So thank you to all those who donated. Mr. T, do you have anything to add to?
Nothing further to add. It's quiet time for them.
Buildings and grounds, Mr. Albert's not here. Extracurricular, Mr. Hausnick and Mr. Badger.
I'm gonna let Mr. Hausnack have his thunder.
You know, 3-minute time limit.
Never happened. We have 2 months to take care of. Hey, the District 4 had an all academic wrestling team this year. I think it's the first time they ever did it. And first team, you had to have a 4.0 average or better. And we had 3 kids, David Kennedy, Hayden Harvey, Owen Kleinman. The second team was 3.7 or better with Landon Morehart, and the third team was a 3.0 or better. Gage Wenzel, Brendan Eisenhower, Blaze Vogel, and Colton Wagner. The track and field teams, both the boys and girls finished 5 and 7 in dual, tri, quad meets. In the PZAC freshman and sophomore beat, the girls took 5th, the boys took 2nd. The District 4 meet, none of the boys team or any of the boys finished any higher than 3rd. And the top 2 go to states. Although our 4x100 relay team of Adam Shear, Sean Fry, and the Bryce and Quinn Winslow qualified as a 3rd place team, they had a time. Bryce also qualified in the 400. The girls' 300 hurdles, Faith Berwanger finished 4th and qualified for states. Ellie Merlin had 2nd in districts and went to the state tournament, and Kendall Sims took the gold medal in districts and finished 5th in the state. She had 11.0 on the state meet. If she would have met her personal best at 11.9, she would have still only finished 4th. Junior high girls soccer was 8-3-1, runner-up in the Southern Columbia tournament, champions in the Hughesville tourney. The junior high boys soccer was 11-3-1, and they were the runner-up in the Hughesville tournament. The annual Powder Puff game was a fantastic game this year. Seniors won 26-6. It was the juniors throwing for 200 and some yards and the seniors running for 400 yards.
That's great.
Boys tennis, they finished the season 10-6, won their first playoff game, then lost the quarterfinal to finish 11-7. Telly Bobadas lost in the singles in the semifinals, and Bobadas and Gio Catino lost in the quarters in the doubles. In softball, the girls' softball team had kind of a rain-shortened season with a 6-1 record. Varsity was 11-6, but they were the co-Hack 2 champs, which is the first time in 25 years the girls' softball team has won any league championship. Unfortunately, the team that won the league championship and the district championship, we faced in the first round and lost to Loyal Sock. In baseball, JV team started out 0-2-1 and finished 8-2-1. The varsity team finished 15-4. Now they're 20-4 and playing for the state championship Friday. On the Hack 2 first team, Logan Kirby was a first team pitcher and also pitcher of the year. Noah Kirby was first team catcher. Royce Bose was first team infielder and co-player of the year. Second team at pitcher and outfielder was Jimmy Messina and outfielder Michael Reeder. All of them also made the big school all-district team, and Kirby was still pitcher of the year and Bose was co-player of the year. So they'll be there 1:30 Friday. you gotta be there. Everybody go, pack the place.
Done?
Yep.
Good job, John.
Thank you, Mr. Alstein. Safety and security, myself, as stated earlier, we had met an executive session with our safety coordinator, Mr. Myers, to let the public know. We continue to evaluate, all of our schools, all of our structures, our personnel to enhance the security, the best way possible for this district. There's nothing else I can discuss about that specifically, but know that it is being worked on diligently by Mr. Myers and our security team, as well as our administrative staff. Wellness, Ms. McCoy.
I don't have anything tonight on that.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, this brings us to the last public comment portion of the evening. Again, residents and taxpayers, official action, deliberation before the board.
You all know who I am. I want to thank the board for passing a budget with no tax increase. You may not realize it, but there's a lot of people out there in that district that were worried that the taxes for them was going to increase. I do want to say, however, the board agreed to have kids come from another district at taxpayers' expense. I honestly believe that you all are setting a precedence that you can't back down from now, because any employee that has school-age kids, you're not going to be able to refuse it, because it's going to end up with a lawsuit if you or another board refuses it, because it's being allowed now. And you set yourself up for a discrimination lawsuit if it happens. Thank you.
Jack Callahan again. Yeah, I'd like to compliment whoever set up the things for graduation out in the football field. The chairs and everything, the speakers thing and all that equipment looked like it was in mint condition. And I'd like to know where all this stuff is used in the high school. If it's just used for graduation, I don't know, but I mean, this stuff looked perfect. I mean, it was just perfect. And I don't know, it was mint condition as far as I'm concerned, in that it was just perfectly set up. And went pretty smooth. And I'd like to say that Miss Brio, she was a librarian when I was at this school. And she sponsors 4 or 5 scholarships a year. And she's been doing this for 70 or 80 years. And she didn't make the money the teachers are making today. And she was a good librarian. She would do, just help everybody. So I'd like to compliment her.
Thank you, Jack.
Thanks, Jack. Where do those chairs come from? Can we ask that one? Are they,
Oh, the chairs are all, we use them in cafeteria.
yeah,
all
so those
over.
chairs get used all over, they're primarily in the cafeteria.
They really look brand new.
They do.
They look spiffy.
They take, it did look spiffy. They take good care of them, for sure.
They got the torso written on the back of the thing, or warriors or whatever, and this looked perfect. I mean, it was set up before, the way it was set up and everything.
Yep, they look great.
I just, the maintenance did a good job of, real good job.
I agree.
Yeah, the only thing we rent
Rain,
is,
so would have rained, I would don't know what kind of shape that stuff would have been.
well, it's survived rain. The only thing we rent for that is the sound system, because it's important that, families, guests, friends can hear what's going on. So we do rent the sound system for that. Stadium sound system just wouldn't work for graduation. And that, the podium that you all speak at is the podium that's used at graduation. That was made by a graduate in our wood shop. So,
I would say my class donated a podium to the school, and somebody stole the speaker system out of it.
Oh, jeez.
That's what our donation was when I was a senior back in 1966. So, but somebody stole the sound system out of it.
That's great. All right, anyone else in the room here? All right, seeing none, we'll go to Zoom. If you would like to make a comment, raise your hand. All right, seeing no hands raised, we will move to adjournment. I'd like to take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed? All right, see you next month, folks. Thank you.
Where's that meeting?
July 15th. 15th,
Not the third.
third Tuesday.